in, bro. All right, I'm excited to be joined by Zach McCambley, a pitcher in the Marlins organization. Zach, how's it going, man?
Good, man. Like I said, appreciate you having me on. It's another beautiful day, man. Another beautiful day.
Where are you at right now? Florida?
So I was living in Jupiter for the past couple years, because that's where the Marlins spring training complex
Yeah.
is. We share that with the Cardinals in Jupiter there. But I actually moved back to Myrtle. I'm in South Carolina right now. I got an apartment out here, like right on the intercoastal. So um, just enjoying my time. I got some family here. My father lives here. My
Yeah.
grandparents live here. So just good to be back. Personally, I'm a big South Carolina guy. It's basically like a home away from home for me.
Yeah.
I've been coming here my whole life, and I went to school here. So
Yeah, because you said a beautiful day. I'm like, dude, I got snow outside my window.
wait, where are you at?
I'm in Wisconsin.
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude, I was in Wisconsin. I was playing for the Beloit Snappers.
Yeah.
My first year. So my first year, yeah, I started. I was high. It's high A for the Marlins.
Yep. Yep.
And I was up in Beloit. Yeah, it's pretty cold up there. But I'm actually from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So I know all about the cold, dude. Like snow days growing up, delays. I pretty much just grew up in the snow. I'm from the Poconos, so that's where like a lot of people come to snowboard, ski, do all that kind of
That's
stuff.
what's up.
But I always adapted more to like I wanted to be on like the warmer
Hmm.
side of things. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
went
No,
down
actually,
south for most of my things.
yeah, I actually grew up in California, so this is like sort of still an adjustment and all that kind of stuff. So
Oh wow,
yeah, so it's,
wow,
it's
California. What
wildly
part?
different. Bay Area.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow. That's pretty dope, man. I've been to California one time, dude. It was for the area code games. You ever heard of
Oh,
those
nice.
games?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my junior year of high school, I made the area code team. And this was like before I was, throwing any type of velocity.
Yeah.
But somehow I was able to go, and I didn't really get a chance to see much of California as you'd expect. I was there for a baseball tournament, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, man, California's dope.
What
Cool
city was it
spot.
in? You remember?
Long Beach.
Oh, it's Southern California. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
we
grew
were
up
in
with that.
Long Beach. I'm pretty sure the area code games is at Long Beach State. I think. I
Okay.
don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty sure it's at Long Beach State. Good time
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like 8 hours from where I grew up, which is crazy
Oh
because
wow.
California's, yeah, so huge. The state, I grew up nine or so hours up north by, San Francisco and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, but you
Cool.
mentioned Malloy, so I guess we'll just jump right into that. I mean, I've had a ton of guys on the podcast. Like I told you, I might be a Marlins guy now. They might be my new NL team. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm here in Wisconsin, so I cheer for the Brewers and all that. But
Yeah.
everyone I've talked to who's been on the podcast from the Marlins organization, like I always, like, hey, like how was your experience on Beloit? Because I told Brian Hoeing, shout out to him, he was major league debut this past season. I'm like, dude, you got to put in your Twitter bio like Survivor, you know, like Beloit Survivor, because like it was rough out there.
Yeah, so they ended up getting a new
Yeah,
stadium,
yeah, it's
which
nice.
I wasn't there for. I unfortunately was not there for that. I was called up to Double A right before they moved stadiums. But when I first got to Pullman, dude, like when we first got there, like we just left spring training, like we're getting there, we're all getting like our living situation situated, and we show up to the field, and I was like, oh my goodness. I don't know. It looked like a Cape Cod field,
Okay, okay,
like a summer ball kind of feel for me, which
yeah, yeah,
I thought it was dope. I thought it was cool. And then eventually when the season got rolling, they cleaned up the field and they made it more of like a professional kind of look. But I think they did a great job at, that whole staff there. I know they were in the process of moving, stadiums and whatnot,
hmm,
but they did a great job. I had a couple great starts there. Not too much to do in the city of Beloit, but overall, overall, good cheese curds.
yeah,
Real good cheese curds. You had Chicago not too far away. You had Milwaukee.
yeah,
Um, so I made my trips here and there. It was cool, but I would like to say I survived it too. Me and
yeah.
Brian were actually on that team together.
Oh, nice.
me and Brian, that's my boy, man. Super happy to see him make his debut
Yeah.
this past year, dude. That was freaking awesome to watch, man. He's such a great dude, great athlete. So yeah, we were going through it together in Beloit. So for us to be able to make it out of there, I mean, it's pretty dope. It was a good
Yeah.
time, man. I got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Do you have any funny Brian stories? Because like I'll have to DM him and be like, hey, I heard this the scoop from Zach.
Ah, man, I don't have too many like crazy stories, but because like we don't play basketball or anything, but we went and shot around one day, like just shooting hoops, like no, like can't play, like
Yeah.
obviously can't play like pickup
Right,
basketball
right.
and whatnot, but like just to see how like freaking talented he was at basketball, because I'm pretty sure he was like Mr. Indiana.
He was good. Yeah.
Like pretty sure like 1,000 point scorer in high school, like could have went to go play in college easily.
I think he had
Um,
offers, if I remember
yeah,
correctly.
I think he told me that too. I don't know where from, but I think he obviously chose the correct route
Yeah.
in baseball, because to see him up there now is absolutely incredible. So, but honestly, not too many stories. Just typical teammate stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like just going through it together, going through that grind together, man. It's like it's a different relationship than you have with other people, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. So let's kind of get into your background and stuff. Actually, let's talk about this. How did you meet Cole Newell from CN Pitching? Because obviously I had him on. He was kind of shouting you out, So kudos
Yeah,
to you for doing what you do and stuff. But like, how did you get in contact with him?
dude, Cole is the man. First of all,
Yeah,
I know we talked about that already,
yeah.
but so he lives in Pensacola. Um, like I think like 40 minutes from Pensacola. I'm not sure the exact town or whatnot, but
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing him. I was working on a changeup, man. I've always been like a pretty big spin guy, curveball, fastball, cutter guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I could never figure out the changeup. And he had this Instagram following. I came across his page one day, and I sent him a DM, and I was like, dude, like
Yeah,
I really appreciate all your content, bro. Like it's actually helping. It's actually useful. Like I'm glad I've actually come across something where I can actually use it in my day to day
yeah,
like work. And he DM'd me back and was just like, dude, so happy to see that. So happy to hear that you're playing for Pensacola. So I got him tickets. So fast forward, I got him tickets for him and his girl. And they came and showed love the first time. We met, talked after the game, after my start. And then from then on out, we developed this like relationship, and he came to a couple more of my starts. I send him video. We talk about baseball. I wouldn't say every day, but like we talk maybe once or twice a week, maybe
yeah.
even more than that.
That's
Just
crazy.
going back and forth on baseball stuff, man. So that's pretty much how I met Cole. I never knew him before that, but I just shot him a DM and it just went from there.
Yeah, no, he's good people, and like just the interactions that he has, just me and him, honestly, like he's just really open and outgoing and able and willing to like help anybody out, which is pretty cool.
He knows his stuff. That's
Yeah.
also the other thing. Like he does know what he's talking about. Sometimes you come across people that, maybe they don't know what they're talking about as much,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe, just in my experience and who I've talked to and who I've been around, I feel like he actually does appreciate the game, and
Yeah.
he knows how to improve certain players. That's why I think he's going to I think he's going to take off one of these days. Like
Oh, I think he
eventually.
already is. I mean, just looking at his Instagram, like he's blowing up everywhere. He said that
Absolutely blown up.
he said that you were working on something nasty, which is his quote. What are you working on this offseason?
Oh, dude. I mean, I already have like this curveball thing, but really I'm working on like a real nasty cutter, man. I've always been I've always been able to really spin the baseball.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't start throwing a changeup until I got to Double A baseball. So like high school didn't need it, college didn't need it. Then I got to high A. I started seeing like, okay, I can incorporate this a little more, but I didn't really notice it until Double A, and then that playing field got like super even. And then I was like, okay, guys can time up every fastball that you throw pretty much, unless you have insane command with every pitch. So got to get them off it a little bit. But in terms of what Cole was talking about, I'm developing this cutter this offseason. I've been at it pretty much all offseason. And I'm trying to, just have more stuff to throw at guys, give them more looks.
You've been a starter for most of your career, right?
Yeah. So I've been back and forth. I've done both. In college, I did a little bit of both, but for the most part, I've been a starter pretty much my whole life. But to be honest with you, I'm really just more of a competitor than
Mm.
anything. I'm trying to move up the ranks, get up to the Marlins team so that I can like
Yeah.
help them win for real.
Right. Right.
Um, I don't care what role that is. I more just care about getting up there. Now I do believe I'm a starter, but like I said, a changeup is tough to throw, man. Especially because guys have been throwing changeups their whole lives. I
Yeah.
didn't start throwing it until this last like year and a
That's
half. So
insane.
just working on it, man. Just it's a work in progress. A lot of ups and downs with starting. It's definitely a tough thing to do, but it's fun, man, dude. It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Freaking
So
love it.
out of relieving and starting, you would prefer to be a starter? Because I talked to guys like, dude, I want to be a reliever. I just want to go there, let the arm eat for like an inning or so, and then just be done.
I will say that is nice, but it's just something about being able to put the team not necessarily on your back, but like
Right.
those are your guys. Like you're going out, like you're in charge of everything when you're the
Yeah.
starter. Like you're going out there, you're controlling the game. Like you're fighting for those 8 guys behind you. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like that's what I enjoy about it. I like being like not in charge, but feeling like a leader almost.
Yep.
Not saying that when as a reliever when you come in, you can't have that same type of dynamic when you come in, but just in terms of like leading up to the game and knowing that you have to go eat most of these innings,
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy about it. But
I respect it.
regardless, I mean, I'm trying to take care of my family, man.
Trying to get to the majors too. I
Trying
don't
to get to
blame
the
you.
majors, man. So I mean, whatever I can do to get up there and do that, I'm committed to it. So
No, I feel that, and like whenever you do make that major league debut, and like hopefully it's like ideally it's right here in Milwaukee, so I can go because I'm only 40 minutes from the stadium, bro. Like I'll be there.
yeah, that'd be cool, man. Wherever it is, man, it'd be sick, dude.
Yeah, I went to go
Milwaukee's
see.
dope though.
Yeah,
Speaking of Milwaukee, just real quick, I went
yeah,
to
yeah,
Milwaukee. I took a little trip there, dude. Super dope place.
yeah.
Super
No, I
dope.
like I like it. I like it a lot. I went to see Brian Holing and Jake Fishman. None of them got in the game because Sandy Alcantara threw like I think a complete game. So I was like, whatever. Like, if he's pitching him, I think they're not gonna get in the game. But I still went out there, got to meet them, talk to them for a bit. Toward the end of last season, so that was pretty cool. So if you ever get out here, definitely gonna have to meet up and stuff.
For sure, man. No doubt.
So let's get into your background stuff. So when did you start playing baseball? And when did you realize like, dude, I'm kind of nasty?
Man, I played baseball. I've been playing this game since I was probably 4. That's probably where most professionals
Nice.
would tell you. 4
Yeah.
or 5 years old is when they started. I don't know. Some will tell you 3. I don't know. But I've always just gravitated to it. I played 3 sports, well, 2 sports, football, baseball, pretty much real heavy growing up my whole life. I was a
What was
quarterback.
your football position? Oh, quarterback. Okay.
I was a quarterback, so I always had the ball in my hand. I was always throwing. I was always,
Mm.
growing up in my travel teams, growing up in Little League, I was always one of the bigger kids. We had 3 Zachs on my
Jeez.
like Little League team, and I was Big Z. We had a smaller guy was Medium Z, and then we had another guy who was Little Z. So
That's
there was
crazy.
3 Zachs, and I was the Big Z, and I was always one of the bigger kids. Even through high school, was always one of the bigger kids. I actually didn't start to become one of the shorter, not smaller, shorter
Yeah.
guys until I got to pro ball because now everybody's like 6'5", who I
Yeah.
spend my time with. Like, look at Brian. Brian's 6'5". I mean, I don't know about Fishman, but I know Brian's a big guy. But yeah, just growing up playing all different sports, staying athletic. I wasn't able to throw a curveball until I left Little League, so I was all fastballs. And then going into high school, played JV my freshman year, and then sophomore, junior, senior year, 3-year starter. Committed to Coastal Carolina when I was 15.
15.
They came in I was 15 years old. They
Jeez.
came and Gilly came to watch me pitch up in New Jersey.
So that was after your freshman year then.
After my freshman year, so I was going into my sophomore year. I
Dude,
think I
so
was
you-
throwing. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I think I was throwing like 88, topping out at 88 as like a sophomore, 89 maybe, and
Yeah.
they just liked the projectability, I guess, because I was young.
Yeah.
So yeah, was getting like all this attention from all these schools pretty early because I was playing for this travel team called Baseball U.
Okay.
And Baseball U is Northeastern. It's Baseball U, Connecticut, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York. And I pretty much played for them my whole high school career. They were out of Scranton, PA, is where I played mine.
Mm.
And I would take all the perfect game trips with them and go down and show off in front of a bunch of scouts trying to get, a scholarship.
Yeah.
And then eventually but I always wanted to go to Coastal because my father lives here in South Carolina. My grandparents
Awesome.
also live here. I've been vacationing here since I was young.
What other schools were interested in you?
So Coastal, Virginia, St. John's, Elon,
Mm.
Virginia Tech. I had a lot of schools down the East Coast pretty much. No West Coast schools really. Just a lot of East Coast schools.
Were you
But I
taking
always
colleges
just
and stuff?
I took 2 college visits, but I knew I always wanted to go to Coastal. Like I didn't even
Okay.
visit Virginia and St. John's or anything. Like I knew I wanted to go to Coastal. And this was before they won the national championship. So I wasn't like trying to go to Coastal because they
Yeah.
just won this national championship, because that's what a lot of kids. It's more on the map now. Coastal
Yeah.
wasn't on the map as much as they are now. So yeah, dude, committed there, and then the draft was approaching my senior year, and my head coach ended up. I got blessed with a full ride scholarship to come to Coastal Carolina for 3 years, and like to take me away from the draft out of high school. I knew I was never going to go, but I wasn't ready. I had to come to school, get more mature, become older, learn how to do things on my own. And then went to the Cape my sophomore year after I struggled all year. I struggled all year my sophomore year at college. And
What do you
went to
think
the
it like
Cape.
attributed to that though? Like your struggles?
I think I was trying to find out myself, trying to
Mm.
figure out. I was still young. I was just a thrower in high school. I just had potential. I got to college. Had a pretty good freshman year, and then my sophomore year they gave me the Friday night spot. So I was the Friday night starter my sophomore
Nice.
year. So I think I just let a lot of pressure build up on me, honestly. Like just wasn't ready for that moment yet. Didn't know myself as a pitcher. Didn't have any type of routine. So had a pretty bad year. Bounced back from the bullpen and Friday night guy all year. Went to the Cape, reinvented myself, switched my mindset. Went stupid in the Cape. Did
Mm.
really well for my time there. Got on the map again. Showed up during COVID or during that 2020 fall. Had a really good fall.
Dude, you were
And
balling
then,
out too.
but yeah, was playing really well. And then, the spring came and then COVID happened, but I was doing well to start the year off. Um, Looking back on it, I still wish I could have got to finish that year, man. I mean, COVID just sucks, dude. I mean, we flew
Yeah.
all the way to Louisiana and then COVID just happened and then season just canceled right there.
That's
Um,
crazy.
So yeah, and then I just had to just get prepared for the draft. It was crazy. Like season ended, like 5 starts in my junior year. Season ended, prepare for the draft. Didn't know if I was going to get called because it was only a 5-round draft.
Yeah, and I've talked to guys who were in that draft and guys who went undrafted who were signed as free agents after that draft, and the pressure just being a 5-round draft, and a lot of teams were picking people to save money, not necessarily where they would normally pick them. It's just a weird ton of like different like aspects
Yeah,
went to the whole draft thing.
it was a way different dynamic than what
Mhm.
it was in the past. I mean, I don't know how many rounds it used to be, like 40 rounds or something like that. I think now
Yeah, it
it's
was a
20.
ton.
I think
Yep.
now it's 20. I mean, I get, it kind of screwed a lot of people during 2020 in that draft. I know a couple people personally that didn't get called because of the circumstances of that draft and how the teams had to save money and stuff. But I'm like super blessed that I was able to
Yeah.
get out. Miami, super happy that they picked me in the 3rd round there. It was definitely like a crazy relief off my back.
Were you expecting to get drafted? Because I know, it's with the weird, where were you expecting to get drafted that year?
So I was told leading up to it, the fall after my Cape season, and then going into the fall and then the spring, I was told I was if I play well, I could get between rounds 2 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't going to go in the 1st round. I knew that already, but rounds 2 to 5, like late 2nd round,
Mm-hmm.
and then through the 5th round. So when Miami called, I think I had a couple teams call late 2nd round, early 3rd round, and then when Miami called, they had their offer, and my agent called me and we put it in, and then watched the TV, and then, dude, I can't even really tell you what happened next. Honestly, I don't necessarily remember everything because it was just like I kind of just blacked out almost because
You got it
you
on
work
video
towards
at all,
something.
or
I
no?
do have it on video. I do
All right,
have it
cool.
on video. I'll get it to you.
Yeah.
It's a real dope video, man. I had my draft party at my dad's bar here. He closed the bar, so we had like 50 people there, private party. And it was just a beautiful day, man. It was a beautiful day for me and my family. Like I said, like you work towards something your whole life, like all the sacrifice that your parents make, driving you to, all these different tournaments and buying you all the gear and stuff, and it finally like pays off to what you wanted, But you also know at the same time that it's just the start.
Yeah, it's a whole new beginning.
It's a whole new beginning, and I knew that right away. So I was ready to get to work right away. There's certain people out there that think you made it already. But if you're in it, and a lot of people know you haven't made it yet. So, but in terms of getting drafted, that was always like the number one goal: get drafted, man. And it happened.
That's crazy. So you committed as a sophomore, heading into your sophomore season. Like, I would have been the cockiest kid getting committed, and I was only 15 years old.
Yeah, well,
were you just like that dude in your area?
I think if you talk to a lot of people around me, I would like to say that I went to high school with. I'd like to say that they'd tell you good things. They wouldn't tell you that I'm that cocky of a person. But in terms of like being the man around the area that I was, I mean, I would say so for sure. I mean, there wasn't really too many people committed anywhere crazy. Don't get me wrong. I played with I had a bunch of friends that I played with back in the day. Great players, man. Like still playing to this day, still playing college, still doing their thing. But in terms of being drafted and stuff, I'm not sure. I wasn't always the greatest hitter. I mean, I hit leadoff. I was the leadoff hitter.
Dude, so in your senior year, you were 6-1 with a 1.70 ERA.
Yes.
That's pretty nasty. And I'm not even a stats guy, but I'm like, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, like tons of. I had a real good relationship with my catcher. And we were on the same page since we were young, man. Like it was insane. But yeah, like as terms of the area, there was one guy that was before me, and his name's Mike Nicorak, and he got drafted out of a town next to me in the first round.
Oh, cool.
I don't know, and back in 2015, but I don't know if he's playing still. I'm not quite too sure, but
yeah.
As far as professionals in my area, I believe I'm the only baseball player. That's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. It's cool to represent where I'm from, man. It's cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's pretty cool. In college and stuff, what was maybe your favorite college moment? You played at Coastal Carolina. Obviously, you were there for 3 years. You were the Friday starter, starting and relieving. What was maybe like your biggest college moment where you look back and like maybe I was like extra locked in that day?
Man, I think the COVID season. Honestly, I was so locked in after my bad sophomore year. I had such a bad sophomore year mentally. I was all over the place, man. Just young, not knowing how to deal with like failure yet. Like I didn't deal with any failure really in high school. I didn't really even deal with too much failure my freshman year in college. And then my sophomore year comes and, guys have more scouting reports on you. You come in as a freshman. Nobody knows who you are. You just come in and, no one knows what kind of stuff you have.
Yeah.
Now going into your next year, it's how you make those adjustments to what they know about you already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would say just my best moments of college have to just obviously just being with my teammates like all the time. It's like one of the greatest experiences ever to be with a team in college and be successful because we won a bunch of conference tournaments. We had a ton of success. I think we were going to have great success in 2020 if the COVID didn't happen. But I would say 2020 for those 5 starts, man, I was different locked in. And that was where I knew that I could tap into like real potential. You know what I'm saying? I knew that's when I knew like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. I can get to pro ball and, I can make it. So that's when the mindset kind of changed.
Who's your favorite team to play against?
In college
Yeah, in
or
college, like who's your
now?
favorite team? Yeah, in college, who was your favorite team to
Oh
pitch against? Where you're like, all right, I'm gonna lock in, like make sure like I'm just carving. Maybe the fans are
man,
extra cocky
conference,
or chirping a
conference.
little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to. I don't think anyone. I never had any experience like that in college. I don't
Okay,
think I've never had like the chirps really. Not
really?
too crazy. Yeah, I mean Sun Belt Conference. I mean in conference tournaments, I'd say I would say Louisiana Lafayette.
Okay,
Louisiana Lafayette, the Raging Cajuns, man.
yeah.
We went down there to their stadium one time or twice. They hosted the conference tournament one year, dude. That place was electric, man. Like all the fans like chanting constantly nonstop, like knowing our names. That's the one time. That's actually the one time I started hearing chirps and stuff, man. Like they knew like my girlfriend's name. They knew like all your typical like. They knew my mom's name. They knew everything about me. They knew my
Jesus.
sister. Like kind of crazy. But then what was nuts about it was after all those chirps, they fed us amazing. The fans like flipped a switch once the game was over. Like once the game was over, they were like welcoming us all like with warm arms, like welcome arms and like nice like big food. Like it was amazing. Like great southern food. So like it was crazy to see like how it kind of like the on and off switch was
Yeah.
like that. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, like I talked to guys who like similar situation, right? They'll know everybody in your family. They'll like go through your Instagram, like just like start shouting out whatever they can, stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
fans can
dude.
be ruthless.
And it's only gonna get worse. I mean,
Yeah.
I've had people in pro ball like tell me I suck all the time, man. Like you hear that all the time from
Yeah.
people. Like it's funny. You obviously learn to tone it out, but it is
Hmm.
funny sometimes. It is funny.
Yeah. What? So you mentioned like failure in your sophomore year, and you hadn't really dealt with that before. Like now that you're in pro ball and stuff, so obviously you're going to deal with that a ton more because that's just the way baseball is. What do you do to kind of like mentally stay strong during those times?
Yeah, it's hard, man. It
Mm.
is. Especially I've been humbled a lot in this game. I've gone through a lot of struggles, a lot of ups and downs. I've been at the highest of highs, and I've been like super low. I think the best thing for me that I found is to just put it in God's hands because
Hmm.
it's already written. I feel as if I show up every day and I put in the work every single day, and I know it's cliche, but
Hmm.
like you get 1% better every day and you take it day by day. You know, failure is just going to happen regardless, but success comes with determination, I feel like. And that's kind of a Kobe quote. I took that from Kobe
Yeah.
because success comes with determination because failure is always going to happen, man, especially in this game. Like this game is insane. You're not good if you're not mentally tough, you're not going to make it in this game. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, there have been times where I've wanted to crack and I've wanted to like not necessarily give up, but like just stop,
Mm.
because it gets rough, man. Because like your life, like when you've been working towards something your whole life, and and this goes with every player. I feel like every player feels this. They just manage it differently.
Sure.
Um, and I think it's just about showing up every day, regardless of what the outcome is the last day. Every day is a new day. And
Yeah,
that's what I
that's so
take with me.
huge. That's so huge. Also, I'm gonna clip that and post that. But that can also be something for like younger players too, like younger kids trying to get drafted, trying to get signed, trying to get recognition and stuff like in high school. Just growing a little bit each day and stop trying to like do it all in one big like day. You know, it's gonna take small
Absolutely.
incremental steps to finally get to that where they want to go. Right.
Absolutely,
That's
man.
so huge.
Absolutely, dude. It's all about 1% every day, regardless of the outcome of the last day, because
Hmm.
every day is a new day. So
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Hey, let's talk about the minors for a little bit. So what do you have any like interesting or funny minor league stories? Because I love talking this. I talk to guys who've like had fans show up on the bus, just jumping on the bus, trying to take pictures and stuff. Um, Fans like sending like random like DMs and stuff like that. Like, do you have any funny like minor league stories or fan interactions?
man, I feel like I've had a ton. Well, Pensacola does a great job with like making it like an experience,
Hmm.
like a minor league experience with like the Roach Run. Man, that's a great question, dude.
Or maybe like bus broke down, like I've had guys like go into their motels and like they open the sheets like blood. It's just like,
Okay. There was one hotel we went to. Wow, I don't even know if we went to a hotel. We were in Peoria. Peoria, is that Illinois? I think
yeah,
it's Illinois or
yeah.
something. I'm
Is
not
that high
sure.
A?
Yes, hi. This is
Yeah.
when I was in Beloit, man. We went to Peoria. I'll never forget this. We went to Peoria. I don't know what hotel it was, but we showed up and we went into the bathrooms. And we went into the bathrooms and we saw like 30 syringe needles just like in the
What?
corner of the bathroom in this hotel, in the lobby of this
Yeah.
hotel that we were staying at. So that happened. We saw that. We all got into our rooms, right? We all like were checking our beds and stuff, right? We found like roaches in our like freaking
Jeez.
pillowcases and stuff.
Yeah.
We reported it. We moved hotels like immediately. We went immediately from like one of the crappiest hotels you can even think of to like one of the best high A hotels that you can think of. So like I don't know if that's like a crazy story, but like
No,
dude,
that's
that's
pretty
just like an
insane though.
experience. Yeah, that's like one of the experiences that you get as a minor league player, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and
And that happens a lot
people
more
don't
often.
always yeah, people don't always recognize that, but that's just like the grind that minor league is, right? They always see like that finished product on the
Yeah,
baseball field, but not a ton of people kind of dive deep into like the experiences that minor leaguers go through, like getting to that level. Dude,
absolutely,
if
man.
I saw roaches, I would have been out in a heartbeat. Like that
Dude, we
is
were out.
nasty. Yeah,
Dude, we were out right away, man. Like I've never seen anything. That was probably the worst one we've been to, and I don't know what the scheduling was like there, but I mean, we moved, so it ended up being okay. But like, as long as we got out of there, man, just a
yeah.
crazy story. Just crazy what minor leaguers do go through. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's insane. And it's getting better, kind of like with like the union and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be just getting better for minor leaguers. Hopefully, you're not there for too much longer, like so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
I will say this: last season, I think had six of my guests go on to make their major league debut. So you're on the right podcast if that's if that's your
I'm on the right
goal.
one, man. Let's go.
Like you just gotta give me a little credit when the day comes. Be like, look,
For sure.
it all changed on December 12th, 2022. That's when the
All
trajectory
right,
just started
cool.
really.
Deal. Deal,
I'm
man.
gonna look
Deal.
out for that press conference and stuff. Hey, so you're a top 30 prospect for the Marlins, bro. Like, so when did you find out you're a top prospect? And like, do you ever look at that number like 22, bro? I should be like two. Like, what's going on
What's
here?
going on here?
Dude, this sounds bad. I hate it. I don't hate it, but
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool, but to me it doesn't mean anything, if that makes sense. Like all that is more of a target on your back, to be honest.
hmm.
Now I try not to like look at that kind of stuff that often. I've seen it, obviously, because like when you first get drafted and it's like, whoa, like everything's so
Yeah,
wide, like eye opening.
yeah,
But as you go, it's like, okay, like you gotta like perform. So it's like I'm gonna, regardless of what happens, take me off the prospect list, put me on the prospect list. I'm gonna do me regardless.
sure.
Um, so yeah, it's cool. It's definitely like something that's cool. You're in the. I just had a kid the other day send me a DM, and he got my card on the show, and
Oh,
it was like
nice.
one of the prospect cards, and I thought that was pretty cool because I mean I still play the show. I played the show growing up and stuff. So now
Yeah,
to like be in the game is kind of cool. Um, and like to have a prospect card and everything, that's dope. But
that's pretty sick.
try not to look too much into it. Just try to do my thing, man. But
Yeah,
it's
no,
cool.
that's what's up. No, that's a good mindset too. Because if you start looking at the numbers, like, all right, like you start kind of feeling yourself a little bit, maybe
Right. And then
things
if
go
you get
downhill from
out of
there.
and then like if you fall out of it, it's like, oh no, and now I'm
Depressing
not a
and
prospect anymore. Like, dude, I don't care. I don't give a shit.
yeah, yeah. No, that's what's up. Does
Yeah.
that kind of like change how like fans see you at like the ballpark and stuff? Like, are they just kind of since you're a top 30 prospect, are they showing up with like binders of like your cards and be like, hey, these older guys with like 30 of your cards, like, hey, sign these cards.
Yes, but I will say that it's different degrees for different people. Like someone like Yuri Perez.
Oh, he needs a bodyguard, dude.
Yeah, my guy. I mean, people are just like treating him like like he's already one of those like
Yeah,
he's like on that level now already. You know what I'm saying? But I pretty much every stadium I've gone to, I've had people, asked to have my cards. I'll sign the cards. I had this one family make like a big printout of me, like some 3D thing. It was like, I don't
Oh,
know, this big, and
it's
they
pretty
had me
sick.
sign it, and then they gave
Yeah,
me one after I signed one. So like they made it for me. So I gave it to my mom, and she thought it was super cool. So I thought
that's
that was
dope.
like a cool experience, like to have fans is dope, man.
Yeah,
Like you get a lot of mail from people who you can tell they'll just like copy and paste
yeah,
like what they're saying to every single person. But to be honest with you, I can tell when it's real genuine. And that's when I really enjoy being able to sign the card or being able to sign a ball for a kid, because it's like they really enjoy, like you're really making that kid's day.
yeah. What's the funniest thing you've been asked to sign?
Funniest thing I've been asked to
Yeah,
sign. A forehead. This little kid, this little kid came up to me. I think it was in Pensacola, or it might have been Mississippi Braves, and he had a hat on, and I was like, and the whole team pretty much signed the kid's hat, but there was no space
right.
on the hat, and the kid was like, I don't have anything else, so he was like, here, sign my forehead. So I was
Jeez.
like, all right. So I signed the kid's forehead. He took
Yeah,
the picture of it, and that was it. But other than
that's pretty
that,
sick.
nothing too crazy.
That's pretty
Just
sick.
kid's
Nice.
skin.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned Yuri. Like, how cool is it just watching him do what he's doing? Because that dude, like you said, he's like Marlins fans think he's like the second coming, which is like he's so hyped up and deservedly so. But like, how cool is it just seeing him on a daily basis, just watching what he does?
I had the pleasure of throwing every game after him this season. So I
Oh,
was
okay.
the one that had to chart him every
Mm.
game. So like I had to be locked in for every pitch he threw because I was charting. Um, he is absolutely disgusting. Like
Yeah.
absolutely the real deal. 19-year-old kid, tops out at 100, doesn't throw a fastball below 95. I've never seen a fastball below 95.
Insane.
Throws every pitch for a strike, has a wipeout changeup. He's 6'9", and he's a good kid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole recipe for a superstar, if you ask me.
Yeah, like
I
I
mean,
see Marlins fans like on Twitter and stuff, like they're just giving him so much love.
I mean, he really. I mean, Sandy is obviously
Oh
incredible.
yeah.
Guy is incredible, seriously.
Hmm.
But I mean, for Yuri to be 19 years old and for him to be able to dominate Double A competition, how he dominated this year. I
Hmm.
mean, kid's 19, man. Like I was, who knows what I was doing at 19 in
Yeah,
college.
for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that, for him to be doing that with us in Double A baseball, like he could have easily. I don't know about easily. Let me rephrase that, but like I think he could have went to Triple A and
Performed
definitely
well.
been able to perform well for sure. I I,
Yeah.
don't see like I. There's no doubt in his like mind. Like
Yeah.
he's just out there. Like he's just a kid. He's
That's
19.
insane. Yeah, and he'll be in the majors by like 20. Like he's on that track where he's gonna be
For sure.
and hit Sandy and Yuri like 1-2. Like that's gonna be the Marlins have a ton of like talent. Like it's gonna
Lots,
be
man.
like yeah, that's
We'll see what
crazy.
happens.
When you're not pitching or golfing or whatever, like what do you do for fun? Like you talk about golf, you talk about gaming. Like are you a big gamer, big golfer? Like what do you do for fun?
So I game. I do like to game. I just started playing golf like pro ball, like when I got to pro ball. So like
Mm,
a year and a
mm,
half, 2 years ago. Um, I like to chill. I like to go get good food. I like to go eat at good places. And I like to mind my business. That's pretty much what I like to do. I like to stay out of the way. I like to get my work in.
mm-hmm.
I get most out of my life when like when I'm doing something baseball related, when I'm just getting off the mound, or like I'm just something as simple as like playing catch, I get like an enormous amount of joy out of. So
Dude, I love you're just a student of the game. Like you just like the passion for game is amazing.
yeah, I'm on YouTube a lot. You know who I watch a lot? Rob Friedman, the pitching ninja.
Yes,
I
pitching
pay
ninja.
attention
That
to his
guy's good.
interviews all the time, man. I'm always on the pitch grips, man. Like what he's doing for baseball is amazing. A bunch of guys, man. Like I watch a bunch of guys. I watch all their pitch grips, dude. I love to like analyze. I love watching baseball. Like, love it. I know a lot of people think baseball is real boring to watch, but me, I'll have baseball on my phone all season, watching the big league teams play. Like, just watching their pitchers, seeing what they're doing, like everything. So I would say, like, yeah, I try to be the best student of the game as I can.
Are the Marlins and their organization, are they like super analytical? Because I know teams like the Rays, I think like they're pitching and they have like the pitching labs or whatever you want to call them. Like, are the Marlins pretty like high tech when it comes to that kind of stuff, or no?
I would say they're not as technical as like some other organizations, like the Rays. I'm pretty sure the
Hmm.
Rays are real
Top.
high up there
Yeah.
with that. Yeah, like them, the Dodgers, like all those teams. I think what I like what the Marlins are doing though is like they're starting to adapt to it more. So they're starting to open up to more of the idea of the technology and stuff, and like the ego, the slow mo cameras and all that kind of stuff. So I mean, we get all that information. But yeah, I mean, I would say that they're more of like a, how do I explain it? I don't know. They're more of just like a feel like in person, not as much like technology used type of like organization that, which still works, but like
Hmm.
I said, they're getting on the technology and just they will. We're coming up. It's
Do
on the come
you
up.
are you a big like stats guy? Like, do you look at all the or analytics guy? Do you look at all that kind of stuff? Or are you more because you're talking about like pitching on field and stuff like the Marlins do? Are you more just like I know what I need to do? I'm just gonna go out there and do what I got to do.
So I like to use the information that we get from the
Hmm.
technology. I think that it's vital. I think you have to use it.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of like, yeah, like the technology, for me, I don't really pay attention too much to like all the numbers and stuff. I'm more of like, okay, if this feels good, like this is the feeling I want to have
Yeah.
moving down the mound. But I definitely think like the numbers help. Like knowing how you're spinning the ball, like if you spin the ball wrong, like a Rapsodo or a TrackMan can just tell you that right away, and you make the
Hmm.
adjustment. So in terms of that, yes, I am into the technology and stuff. But again, like I've always been like a visual learner. I got to be like doing it, and I think that's why like I get along pretty well with a lot of the Marlins guys is because they're the same kind of way, and they
Yeah.
know that what they're telling me is not just going in one ear out the other. I'm kind of like soaking it in, and I'm trying to make improvements on the mound. So yeah, I mean, I like it all, man. Just competing. At the end of the day, you're going out there to compete.
Yeah.
So whatever you have, just compete. And that's been the mindset.
Love that. So you talked about gaming. Like, what games do you play other than MLB? Are you a COD guy, Fortnite? Like, what do you?
I used to be big on Fortnite, man. I'm big. I'm pretty good at COD. I'm one of the best 2K players, 2K basketball. Probably like around. Probably you've seen Madden, the show, and that's pretty much it. Um, yeah, right now COD is taking over for me though. Like that's where I spend most of my time. Once I get done like with all my stuff for the day, throwing, lifting wise,
Yeah.
everything, I pretty much just hop on the game and just run it with my friends. So
Are you
keeps me out of trouble,
PlayStation or
man.
Xbox?
Xbox.
There you go. We might have to run
Yeah.
it sometime then, because like I
Oh, you
have.
got it?
Oh yeah, I don't got the new game, but
Oh,
I'll Warzone it. You know.
oh, dude. After we get off this, man, we'll have to get the names. We'll have to friend
Yeah.
request. We'll
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
have to hop
Yeah.
on there, bro.
Definitely. Definitely. We'll
For a
definitely
fact.
do that. Like, I actually just maybe not just, but like the last couple months I got back in Fortnite. Once they stopped the building, when they got rid of no build, dude, I just and like all right,
Dude.
that's right in my wheelhouse. Like I
Facts. No, no, it,
yeah
it definitely, you know, once they started doing like 90s and stuff with like
yeah
the building and the editing like, dude, I'm
yeah
out. I'm
nah
out. I'm out. Guys on computers and
yeah
stuff
yeah
trying to
yeah
use a
it is
mouse. I'm like, I can't do
nope
that, man.
nope. But
I'm
now
an
that there's no
Xbox guy.
building, yeah. But now that there's no build, dude, it's so much more fun for me. So I've just been
Right.
carving.
Facts.
I'm serious, like
I feel that, man.
yeah, that's what's up.
Them
All
shooting
right,
games, man, they're fun, bro.
they are.
They're freaking fun.
Stress. It gives out, it relieves stress. So that's what I'm saying. Keeps the people out of trouble too. I will say this, man. Actually, let me talk about this before we go. Last thing, you guys won the championship, the Blue Wahoos, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience? Like, how hard did you guys go after it? Like what was the?
Dude. Dude, I missed it, man. I got hurt. Dude, I spent my whole season, man. I gave them 100 innings, man. I
Yeah,
had 100 innings on the year, dude. I was there from the start, dude. And we're the champs. So we won the first half
and the second half.
and the second half. We won the first half, which gave us an automatic bid to
Hmm.
the championship game or to the playoff.
Yeah.
So that whole second half, we had to basically like be on cruise control
Hmm.
leading up into the playoff. And then I hurt my shoulder. I actually got bicep tendonitis in the front of my shoulder towards the end of the year, and like my arm was just like shot. So I got a shot for it. Went back to Jupiter for the last 2 weeks, and then I was supposed to make a recovery and go back to Pensacola,
Hmm.
and then my rehab didn't go how I wanted it to go, and I actually freaking missed the championship series and the
Jeez.
playoff, which sucked. But all the guys stepped in; they did their
Yeah.
thing. We brought some guys up from the Beloit team,
Yeah.
and we still had that crew from the early on Pensacola team.
Hmm.
And dude, it was freaking amazing. I wish I could have been there because they looked so awesome. But I was FaceTiming with them boys
Yeah.
right after they won, and it felt like I was there,
That's
but I
cool.
wasn't. But it was dope, dude. Like it was great. I got my ring size, like my first ring. Like can't wait, dude. It was an awesome experience. Like we had such a great coaching staff.
Yeah.
The whole team, the trainers, like everything was perfect, man. It was sick. It was dope.
Yeah, and like I've interviewed several guys who've been on there. Doc, Mincy. Who else have I interviewed? I feel like I've interviewed a ton. Some of them are Beloit still, but some of them, I think I've had like 6 or 7 Marlins guys on the pod. Like, I'm actually going to try to go there in Florida for spring training. That's the
Oh,
plan, dude. So like, if I'm
please
if I'm
come,
like over
man. You
there,
see me.
yeah, oh yeah, dude, we'll have to chop it up a little bit in
Yes,
person
you
if I
will
go
find
out
me
there.
there.
That's what's up. All right. Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming on the pod, Zach. I do appreciate it, taking time and stuff like that. Hopefully, we'll do this again sometime. Shout out to Cole for kind of starting this kind of connection and stuff. But we'll definitely squat it up sometime for sure.
Dude, absolutely, Francisco. Thank you for having me, man.